So a lot of people ask me why I'm running for the school board, and I think it kind of comes down to three things for me. One is we moved here for the programs. We moved to GCISD for specialized programs, and I want us to continue to offer those and be a destination district where we have programs of choice. I think those are really important to a lot of families, and it's important to have opportunities for kids to engage in lots of different ways in the district. The second thing I think that's important for the district is voice. I think that we've gotten away from listening to our students, to listening to our parents, and listening to our teachers. That just feels to me like something that we're not doing anymore. And I want to get back to listening to those families and those voices. So the third thing I think is fiscal responsibility. Looking at ways to, manage this financial crisis that we're in, but looking at it more from a responsibility to, how we manage the funds that we have, not spending money on, additional attorneys, not paying redacted invoices, looking at opportunities for revenue generation. We need to be not just looking at our crisis from a budget cutting perspective. That's everything that I've seen in the last 6 months has been about cutting things. And I believe that if you are really looking at things from a truly fiscally responsible perspective, true businesses look to raise revenue. And, when this district went through a financial crisis in 2011, we were $14 million in deficit. And we brought community members together, we brought teachers together, we brought students together, we brought the administration. Everybody came together, and a lot of really, really bright minds came up with ways to raise revenue and generate ideas. We talk about being a destination district and people wanting to move here for academic excellence, and yet we have cut our foreign language programs. We no longer are offering Latin. We are no longer offering Mandarin. We have announced that we are phasing out our dual language program. And that is just heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking for those families at the two campuses that have that program. The way that program, that decision has been rolled out has been less than transparent. And I think is an excellent example to the community of how specialized programs probably can literally be announced that they are no longer going to exist with very little notice. We also been losing some of our AP courses. They just recently announced that AP Euro will be cut for next year. We just don't have as many teachers anymore. And so, for example, this year, this past school year, the kids that were in multivariable calculus, they are in essence teaching themselves by using their textbooks and also some videos like from Khan Academy and things like that, because the teacher that they had to assign to that course, the highest level math that teacher had ever taught was Algebra 2. So, I get people commenting about the lack of representation on the Board of Trustees for trustees who have kids that zone to Colleyville Heritage High School. And I understand, I hear that a lot because I actually live in an area that is zoned to Colleyville Heritage High School. And I agree. I think that we need to have, as much as we can, equal representation for both of the traditional high schools. Currently my daughter does attend CTMS because she is in one of the programs of choice. And until she's in 8th grade, we will not be making the choice as to which high school she'll go to. But it's important that our kids have those opportunities at both of the high schools. So I would like to continue to talk to our administration about that and impress upon everyone that those are conversations that the high schools need to continually have to make sure that they are as equally balanced as they can be, because all of our kids deserve to have those opportunities regardless of which school they're zoned to. There are books that some people might find not appropriate for their child. And by the way, I am absolutely 100% in support of every parent having the right to choose what their child reads. and what curriculum they feel their child should be exposed to. And there is a process in place, and there has been a process in place, probably in every school district, but certainly in GCISD. I know that. I know that my child's only in middle school, so I haven't had to experience that, but I have firsthand knowledge of friends that have had that experience, and I've spoken to the teachers and I've spoken to the administration, that there was a system in place to ask if that is not what you wanted for your child, and a solution would be found that worked for both the parent and the district for another alternative to be given, whether that was a different book or a different piece of curriculum. That existed. That's all that had to be done. But instead, it became this huge discussion that then became a policy that then became hundreds, if not thousands of hours of work for our teachers and for our administration and for our librarians, that 8 or 9 months later, if not more, we still have not been able to fully implement. And that is what I have an issue with, is the impracticality of the implementation of it. And that we now have a list of, it could be 3,000 books that have been pulled, and we're still not even sure, in a public way anyway, of why those books were pulled. Some of them, things like Harry Potter or Rick Riordan, things that my daughter read in elementary school or middle school, and maybe some parents don't feel that that's appropriate for their kids, but that should be each parent's choice. And that is not, we're not being transparent if we're not letting families know what it is that is available.